Hey y'all, it's me, Miss B. Today we are talking about the law of cosines. So here's the law of cosines, and we want to use the law of cosines for side, 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 and side angle side. So if I have a triangle, we have side, 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 or side angle side. Those are the two scenarios in which we would use the law of cosines. So we can change them to law of sines. However, the law of sines will give acute angles, so you always have to find the angle across from the shortest side. So I really like the law of cosines. So for the law of cosines, the equations are basically the same, but know that it's going to end on the angle that we start with. So if we end on angle A, then A squared is equal to our two others, the sum of our two other angles squared minus 2 times their product times cosine of our original angle. So those two things should match up. So then B squared is equal to that, and C squared is equal to that. Okay, so it's really just memorization. There's really not a way of describing it in layman's terms to figure out how we get that. It's a very long process. Okay, and then I want you to remember that inverses find angles, just like we did in law of sines previously. So this is just a note that in the law of cosines, most mistakes in this section are made because students don't follow the order of operations when they're solving the equation. So they do some funny stuff there. So just be careful that you are properly solving these equations. Okay. So it says Sally the surveyor is measuring the width of the pond from point A to point B. Here's point A, here's point B. She sets her transit point at C and measures an angle of 73 degrees. She measures the distance from C to A and C to A and C to B to get 56 feet and 68 feet, and that is respectively. What is the width of the pond? So we are looking for C in green, that width of the pond there. So we have side, angle, side, so we're definitely going to use the law of cosines. And so I'm going to do, it's basically just a plug and chug. So this is unknown for us at the time being, so I'm just going to put it in orange just to kind of show it's unknown. And then we're going to plug in this other stuff. So A is equal to 56 feet. B is equal to 68 feet minus 2 times 56 times 68 times cosine of C, which is 73 degrees. All right, so then we want to simplify this out. I was trying to find the solution that I didn't spend a bunch of time going through and figuring out, but okay. So I'm just gonna have my calculator handy. So 56 squared is 3136. 68 squared is 4624. 2 times 56 times 68. So I am following PEMDAS, so I did my exponents first. Now I'm doing multiplication, and I'm going to leave this exact. So we're leaving that till the end there. And this is c squared. So then we have minus 7616 cosine of 73. Okay, and then we'll just plug this directly into our calculator. Actually, what we're going to do is take the square root of both sides. We don't want to do plus or minus because sides can't be plus or minus, so we get c equals, and we plug that into our calculator just as is, making sure we're using parentheses in the right spot. We get 74.4, and that is feet. So that is our answer there. Now, we could have taken the square root right here, but I did want to show that people need to follow the order of operations properly. Okay, let's do another example together. So here, I just want to find, let's just find side C here. Okay, so because those two things are opposite, we can use the law of cosines. So I'm going to do c squared equals a squared, which is 8, plus b squared, which is 11, minus 2 times 8 times 11 times cosine of 37 degrees. Okay, we can take the square root of both sides and plug directly into our calculator and make sure you're in degree mode. So when we plug that whole thing in, I dropped my calculator, square root of 8 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 8 times 11 times cosine of 37 in degrees equals C equals 6.6, we'll just say 6.7, and we'll label it units just to be safe. So there is our answer. Okay. Gonna leave that next one there and do this one here. Okay. So here we have 3 sides. It's a little different, and we're gonna find C. So this is lowercase c, this is A, and this is B. That's a 9, by the way. So I'm going to use my equation. So I've got, we're looking for c, so c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c. C is equal to, I just want to make this smaller. C is equal to 8, so I have 8 squared equals a, which is 9, squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 9 times 5 times cosine of c. So this is where we have to be careful. This is where a lot of people tend to make mistakes. So I'm going to solve by hand. It's the best way to do it. 8 squared, 64. 9 squared is 81. 5 squared is 25. 2 times 9 times 5 gives me 90 cosine of C. Now this and these are not like terms, so we can't combine them, but we can combine these. So actually just going to subtract 81 and 25 at the same time. So I get negative 42 equals negative 90 cosine of C. I'm trying to get cosine by itself so I can take its inverse. So divide by 90 on both sides. So I get 42 over 90, because two negatives make a positive, equals cosine C. To solve, I have to take the inverse of both sides, because inverses find angles. When I type that into my calculator, inverse cosine of 42 over 90, I get C equals, or angle C equals 62 degrees, and we do just want to keep it rounded to the nearest degree. All right, and then that's all.